on multiplication skills. And before we got out in my classroom, we were working on multi-step problems. We're realizing now that we're, most of us in 4th and 5th grade, problems are no longer just one step. We're sometimes having to add and multiply in problems, or subtract and then multiply. We're normally doing more than just one operation. So what I want to do today is first remind you guys, if you have time, get on your extra math so that you can practice that fact fluency. We'll do some flashcards and things if you can join us in the live classrooms on Mondays at that 10:30 time. If not, you can check in here, and I'll kind of just do some word problems with you guys, give you a chance to try some on your own and pause the video and then come back and see how you did. As well as I will post on Dojo a link for just some extra math practice for you guys. Now, the links that I put on Dojo with the extra activities and sheets, those are optional. Packet was sent home to everybody that's in this math group, and those should be coming soon. I suggest pacing yourself with those, maybe just doing one activity a week for me for math. I know you guys have other things for your classrooms as well, especially I think everybody in this group has more than one teacher since their teachers co-teach. So we're going to work on a multi-step word problem, and the big thing that we were talking about before school got out was drawing a visual, having some kind of picture that helps me kind of get an idea of what is happening in the problem, okay? So I have a problem here, and let me get everything together so that you all can see it, okay? Okay, so it says Orange County has 5 swim teams with 15 swimmers on each team. Each swimmer must swim 30 laps in one workout. If the teams practice together, how many laps do the swimmers swim all together? So we're going to go through it step by step, sentence by sentence to start to build this picture. And I want you guys to follow the same steps when I give you the problem to try on your own, okay? So really make sure you're paying attention to what we're doing here. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Orange County has 5 swim teams. Well, I'm going to go ahead and draw a visual of maybe swim team 1, swim team 2, 3, 4, and swim team 5, okay? Now, it tells me with these 5 swim teams, they have 15 swimmers on each team. So team 1 has 15 swimmers, team 2 has 15 swimmers, team 3, team 4, and team 5, okay? Now, it also says each swimmer must do 30 laps in one workout. Now, this is where it's kind of important because I would want to figure out first, well, how many swimmers are there even all together? Then I can figure out, well, how many swimmers do I have? All these swimmers are doing 30 laps and go from there. Now, I've got 5 groups of 15, so I can do a couple different things. We can do multiplication, which would be 15 times 5, or we can do repeated addition. Remember, repeated addition is a way to do multiplication. But since we are in the upper grades, let's go ahead and practice our multiplication skills. I'm going to show it with the area model and then the standard algorithm. My 4th graders, you're doing the area model. Bailey and Tyler, you guys are doing that standard algorithm if you're watching this video. So I'm going to actually move this up here so I have some space. And let's actually do this. Let's just change this to group 3, group 4, and group 5. Okay? Oops, looks like it says group 15 there. So if I'm doing my area model, regardless, I'm figuring out in the first step 15 times 5. Area model, remember, you're breaking up 15 into expanded form. 10 plus 5, and really it's the value. The 5 and the 1s is worth 5. The 1 and the 10 is worth 10. Then you put that 5 out there, okay? I draw my line where my plus sign is, and then I can do the multiplication. So 5 times 10 here, which is 50. 5 times 5, which is 25. And then you guys have to take your partial sums, 50 and 25. And you have to add those up. Okay, so I get 75. 75 swimmers total. Now I can do it with also the standard algorithm. And that's my 5th grader. So if you're in 4th grade, you don't have to worry about the standard algorithm part. But I'm just doing 15 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, and I carry my 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more is 7. I get the same answer. So there's 75 swimmers total. So, first part of this visual here, I figured out now. Got 75 swimmers. Now, I'm not done yet, though, with the problem, because it's not asking me how many swimmers I have. It's actually asking me that if each swimmer, so that means first person out of 75, they have to do 30 laps. Then the second person has to do 30 laps. And the third person does 30. The 50th person does 30. All the way to the 75th swimmer. They're all doing 30 laps. How many laps are they going to do all together? So that means you're going to do 75 times how many laps? 75 swimmers. Every swimmer does 30 laps. So we're going to do 75 swimmers times 30 laps. Now, I could do repeated addition, but that would mean I would add 75 30 times or 30 75 times. That is a lot of addition, okay? So what I would like for you guys to do right now is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to help set your guys' multiplication up. And I would like for you to pause it for a second and try to solve it. If you're in 4th grade, try to solve it with the area model. And I will set that up for you right now. So we're doing 75 times 30. So remember my area model. We're breaking it up. We're doing 70 plus 5. Where my plus sign is where I extend the line. 30 plus 0, and I extend the line. If you're in the 5th grade, you're doing standard algorithm, 75 times 30. Pause the video for a few minutes, try to work it out and solve it, come back and we'll check it together, okay? So at this point, you should have had time to take a second, pause the video and work it out. Let's go ahead and let's check it together. So let's do the area model first. Now again, if you're in 4th grade, you only need to be doing this. If you're in 5th grade, you're working on this, the standard algorithm. 5th graders, you can though, if you'd like, check your work with the area model if you're not sure if you did it correct here. So let's first start with the area model. I'm going to do 30 times 70, and I need to write that in the box. So what do? I look at everything that is not zeros. So 3 times 7 is 21. And how many zeros are in that box? 2. I add 2 zeros. I do 30 times 5. Well, what is 3 times 5? 15. How many zeros are in that box? Just 1. So I add 1 0. This part, I love it because it's zeros. 70 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0. 30 times 0. Still 0. Now you're taking, remember, these are partial products. The answer to your multiplication problem is your product. Right now you have partial products. You only have the pieces. You need to put those partials together, add them up. Zero plus 0. And because we're adding, remember, we're starting in the ones. 0 plus 5 is 5. 1 plus 1 is 2. Drop my 2. So it's telling me my product that altogether, they swim 2,250 laps. I could check it. I'm going to do the standard algorithm. So I should get the same answer. 0 times 5 is 0. I go this way. Then I multiply this way. 0 times 7 is 0. Now, I'm going to drop a 0 here as a placeholder before I start multiplying my next number. 3 times 5 is where I come next. That's 15. I put a 5 and I carry my 1. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 more, 22. And I add those up. 0 plus 0, 0 plus 5, drop my 2, drop my next 2. So regardless, the amount of laps, 2,250 laps. I'm going to give you guys a problem to try on your own. I'll pause it, we'll come back, we'll answer it, then I'll give you some information for the week. Okay guys, I've got another problem for you to try out, this time though on your own. We're going to read it together and make sure you guys can see it. All right, so Elena has 2 photo books. Each photo book has 100 pages each. Each page can fit 8 pictures. How many pictures will fit in both books? I want you to take a second and to stop, pause the video, draw a visual first, just like we started to earlier, okay? Work on this problem. It is more than one step. It's a multi-step problem. Pause it, come back, and then we'll go over it, okay? So at this point, you should have paused the video, and now you should be ready to go over it with me. So let's start one sentence at a time. Elena has 2 photo books. So I'll start already just with that visual, and I have photo book 1 and photo book 2. Each photo book has 100 pages. So I can stop again, and I can say, okay, there's 100 pages here. And there are 100 pages here. So together, I know she's got 200 pages, but that's not what the question wants to know, okay? The question wants to know how many pictures will fit into both books. So let me keep reading. Each page can fit 8 pictures. So that means on page 1, she could put 8 pictures. On page 2, 8 pictures. Page 30, 8 pictures. Page 99, 8 pictures. Page 100, 8 pictures. She's going to be able to put 8 pictures on each of her 100 pages. So that means I would do 100. Make sure you can see. Times 8. Because every page fits 8 pictures. Now, luckily, this one isn't too hard because we're multiplying by 100. We're counting by hundreds. That's pretty easy. But let's go ahead, just because we're practicing our multiplication, our area model, and our standard algorithm, okay? Even though we know 100 times 8 is going to be 800. So let's do it with the area model. Okay? And I break up 100. Let me get this drawn a little better. I break that up as 100 plus 0 plus 0. Draw my lines there. The value of 8 is 8. Okay? So 8 times 100. And I know I'm squeezing it in pretty small there, guys. I'm sorry. 8 times 0. And then 8 times 0. Let me turn on this light so that maybe we can see a little better. There we go, that's a little better. Okay, so 8 times 100 is 800. 8 times 0, 0. 8 times 0, 0. If I add up those partial products, 800 plus 0 plus 0 gives me 800. Okay, that means in this book, I have 800 pictures. Okay, let me check it as well with the standard algorithm. So I'll do 100 times 8. So 8 times 0, 0. 8 times 0, 0. 8 times 1, 800. Now, that means in this book there's 800 pictures, and there's 800 in the second book. So let's write that down. So 800 pictures here, and I'm going to abbreviate pictures. 800 pictures here. Now the question wants to know, how many pictures can she fit into both books? Well, this is book 1, this is book 2. You should have added both of these together to figure out how many pictures she can actually fit into both books. So 800 plus 800, okay, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 again. I got a double stacked, 8 plus 8. Elena would be able to fit total 1,600 pictures in both books. So if you were able to solve and you got 1,600 pictures in both books, awesome job. Now, be doing your extra math if you have time at home, but it's good for your fat fluency. Also, packets have been sent home with some activities that practice these types of skills. Those packets will probably come this week. I would pace yourself, maybe one activity a week. If you would like, I'm going to post a worksheet on Dojo that does multi-step word problems with multiplication. It is optional, so you don't have to do what is there on Dojo. If not, I hope to see you live when we meet on the following Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.